at that time, which was Jupiter during the time of the Roman Empire. Okay. Another thing they cause them to just pull that out. They cause them to eat pork and all that. And then back then you had Jakes that were eating pork. They were not circumcising their children, but you had Israelites that said that hell no, man. We're gonna fight for this truth. We're gonna fight for this truth. And you had a story of a woman who had sons that they said, look, we're gonna make you eat pork and your sons eat pork. And she refused to eat pork and her sons refused to eat pork, and basically they put them all to death. So the spirit is out. You don't even have the spirit no more. You Israelites, you don't even have the spirit no more, man. That's why I can clearly see that 2/3 of our people is gonna be destroyed, man. And it's gonna be bad in this society, man. Hell is getting ready to come down on this society. You know, you walking around like everything's all right, you're gonna start catching hell after a while. And you're sending your children to school, getting those H1N1 vaccinations and all that. And you woman, your mind is fried, man. Your mind is totally fried. You know, you're arguing, when is my son gonna get the vaccination? So that's why we that's why we get on you black women, because your mind is fucking fried. Go ahead.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
That's that whole Hellenist philosophy. Because you had the Israelites that were caught up in that bullshit. That's why when you go to the book of Acts, the 6th chapter, it tells you about the Grecian woman, and so for those are Israelites that were following those Greek ways. Go ahead.
Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Yeah, like I said, they say, "Oh, we'll be a Greek. Yep, no, we ain't got to circumcise ourselves. No, I like pork any damn way. You know." Go ahead.
And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath, for the king had
profane the Sabbath. Go ahead.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offering.
And that goes back to what Satan said going into Romans the 13th chapter, talking about you got to obey the law. So he was probably one of them Israelites that had no problem with the decree of the king. He had no problem because obey. I guess Satan's kids getting that H1N1 vaccination and get ready to get that chip. Go ahead.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and
Those are churches. Those are churches. Read that again.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols.
Set up altars and what?
And groves
and what?
And chapels of idols.
That one word, them churches. Whether it be mosque, you gotta damn near kill a nigga. Well, you gotta kill a nigga to get him out of Islam, man. Once a nigga become Islamic, brother, forget, he's done, man. He's dead. That nigga's done. All right. Them people in the Baptist church and Methodist church, they're done. Forget them. Go ahead.
And sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
And they love to eat that pork, man. Go ahead.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
Yeah, go to any seafood place. See Jacob in there. And the Latin tribes. What they ordering? They're ordering everything. Here you got sea bass, you got bass, you got trout, you got all these clean fish. And what are they gonna go for? They're gonna get the shrimp. They're gonna get the crabs. It might as well be the crabs, lobster, octopus. Yeah, Yeah, the Puerto Rican tribes, they make a thing called octopus salad. You know? And there's one Puerto Rican girl I knew back in the day said, yeah, I'm going to go home and make me an octopus salad. You want some? I said, hell no, I don't want no goddamn octopus salad. Go ahead.
Back in Daniel's 8 and 13. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression?
Right, when Antiochus Epiphanes went in there and defiled the temple. Go ahead.
To give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, and he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
Now that's talking about when you add that up, that adds up to a little bit more than 6 years. And when you go into the history, I don't know if the brother could get that. Timeline? Well, just put in Antiochus Epiphanes. You can either put that in there or you can put Hanukkah, because it goes into the story when Antiochus defiled the temple. And the history should tell you for about 6 years. All right, go ahead.
All right, it says, then I heard one saint speaking, another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. And it came to pass when I, even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in deep sleep on my face toward the ground. But he touched me and set me upright, and said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns, and the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
So it's breaking it down. If you go back to history, I don't know if you have any luck finding that, brother.
I have some known of him sacking Jerusalem, persecution.
Okay, but I wanted a year, a number of years. If you can't find it, just deal with that and let's go to timelines, all right? Oh, didn't you leave it on the
Yeah, it was there, but
Okay, I'll find it. All right, don't worry about it. Go ahead.
It says, and the rough goat is
Matter of fact, go ahead, read, brother.
it says, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, which that represents Alexander the Greek, or Alexander the Creep. All right. It says, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king, which is Alexander the Creep. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power, because the 4 generals of Alexander the Greek, they ruled, but they weren't out of his lineage. They were related other Edomites, Greek Edomites, but they were not related to him. They didn't come out of his loins, so to speak, out of his lineage. So it says, now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
And that's Antiochus Epiphanes. Go ahead.
And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
Yeah, Israel, go ahead.
And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. Afterward I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it.
Yeah, he didn't because it wasn't meant for Daniel to understand it. It's meant for us to understand it. That's why he in Daniel the 12th chapter said these books. Matter of fact, get that. Daniel 12. I believe that's the second or the third verse.
Daniel chapter 2 verse 12 verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Yeah, so the book was closed. So this whole Bible was closed. So the prophecies were closed, because the prophets that received these visions and these prophecies, they didn't understand it. Because even when the angel, Moses sent down the angel to break it down to them, they still didn't understand it. Then they got sick. So who understand it? We understand it because we're the prophets coming back. All right? You got some, Mark? Yeah. Go ahead.
Now this is on Antiochus, and you'll see the account. I'll just go right to the point. 168 BC. In the year of 168 BC, the Syrian tyrant Antiochus Epiphanes sent his soldiers to Jerusalem. The Syrians desecrated the temple, and Antiochus abolished Judaism. The only options he offered Jews were conversion or death. Altars and idols were set up throughout Judea for the purpose of worshiping Greek gods. Antiochus outlawed the observance of the Sabbath, the festivals, and circumcision. In the Hebrew month of Kislev, around December, the temple was desecrated by Antiochus.
Yeah, that's why you have Hanukkah. So you celebrating Hanukkah and don't even understand what Hanukkah's all about. All right? Do we have anything? All right, go ahead.
This is in the Harper's Bible Dictionary. We don't have the beloved one today. And you look up the word Antiochus, a name born by 13 kings or pretenders of the Seleucid dynasty, Hellenistic inheritors of Syria, southern Asia Minor, and other portions of the empire of Alexander the Great. The land of Israel fell under Seleucid rule in 198 BC. When Antiochus III the Great defeated the Ptolemies of Egypt, Antiochus IV Epiphanes ruled from 175 until 164 BC. See 1 Maccabees 1 and 10. The Maccabean revolt was the response of pious and nationalistic Jews to Antiochus Epiphanes' effort to Hellenize them and to suppress Judaism. And it says, see also Alexander, Maccabees, Ptolemy, and Seleucids.
But they don't give you a year? I know we have some document where it says that he was in there for a number of years, 6 years.
It just says here 175 to 164. That's when he ruled.
Okay, all right. There's nothing else there?
No, that was it on that.
Okay, so now, all right, let's go back to the scriptures.
All right, so this is more on. This is back in First Maccabees, the first chapter, the 50th verse. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law. And so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Now the 15th day of the month Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up an abomination of desolation upon the altar. and builded